Judge Dredd may be the law, but Eustace Fargo is the father of justice. Born January 9th, 1999, Eustace graduated from Harvard with a degree in law and entered into the political arena by 2027, hoping to make a difference. Appointed by President Thomas Gurney as the government's special prosecutor in street crime, the idea was that Eustace Fargo would begin to tackle the steep rise in gang violence in what was the area connecting Washington with New York. Later, this and most everywhere else became Mega City 1. Eustace was instrumental in implementing the judge system. Gangs stormed the White House, armed to the teeth, and ultimately avoided prosecution due to their intimidation of the jury. Eustace's idea was to do away with the principle of due process and create a police force that were also the jury and judge, dispensing instant sentences and avoiding another perversion of justice, such as those gangs. It was then that the judges were born. 2031 marked their official deployment into service. Though they primarily acted as a high-powered police force, they would eventually rival Congress overall in power, and at the head of them all, Eustace Fargo, Chief Judge for 20 years. Eustace Fargo, despite his immense achievements, is probably best known for his legacy, his bloodline. Using his DNA, a team of geneticists manufactured judges, clones. Judge Joseph Dredd and Rico Dredd were born, these being perhaps the most widely known, though there were others that share the same DNA, such as Judge Rico, Kraken, Dolman and Cadet Nimrod. And Eustace can also be considered a grandfather, or indeed another sort of father, as Rico Dredd fathered Vienna Dredd, though the complexities of DNA and cloning obscure the lineage somewhat. Vienna is considered Dredd's niece. Due to his image as the father of justice, the linchpin and creator of the judges, the Department of Justice would do anything to maintain this image, the uncorruptible icon that he was. So when Eustace, in a moment of weakness, slept with a colleague in 2051, the slip was hushed up and kept under wraps. Eustace, however, couldn't maintain his silence. He had implemented the celibacy rule for judges, and even he, the chief judge, the father of justice, couldn't maintain his strength. Due to this, he opted to resign his position of power and attempted suicide. Thankfully, in some ways, he was only wounded and left in a coma. The Justice Department covered this up, claiming he was indeed dead, and using this as a symbol and elevated Eustace to a martyr. He did recover though, and to maintain the lie, he was placed in suspended animation. The father of justice wasn't left to rot though, and he was called upon when President Booth began the atomic wars. The judges, feeling forced to act for the citizens' best interest, took control of what was the United States of America. Fargo was revived and stabilized. Here is when he would meet his clones, brothers, Joe and Rico Dredd. With Eustace guiding the Justice Department from the shadows, aiding the Chief Judge, they used the Declaration of Independence as a legal precedent and assumed total control of the land, though this would ultimately lead to Fargo resenting the judge system. He served in this position until 2071, and he saw the judges change from a guiding and protecting force to a dictatorship, something he had never intended for what he created so long ago. In 2129, following some more suspended animation and an adventure into the Cursed Earth, Eustace would be recovered and revived, but die shortly afterwards due to his body simply unable to sustain his life any longer. His last words were to his clone, Judge Dredd. The judge's rule was wrong. He must be the one to reverse it. So, Eustace Fargo, the father of justice, the genetic material that created the man who became the law. Certainly a prominent and incredibly important person in both Judge Dredd's and Mega City 1's history, but one that few of the wider populace is aware of. Were you aware of this man, this legend? And if not, will you be picking up some comics to learn more and see him in action? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and if you want to see more Dredd related videos, then hit that subscribe button to stay notified of all my future content. If you did enjoy this video, then please consider leaving it a like, as it does help the channel out. And if you want to support me, the channel and what I do here, then you can always contribute to my Patreon via the link in the description box. I've been Mr. H, and until next time, I'll catch you in the comment section.